Brianna, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm filming my June wrap up and I read a total of 26 books this month, which was really good. I read pretty much right up to the last day of June, which was yesterday. I'm filming this Sunday, July 1st. So yeah, I have a ton of books and I want to start with the two books I'm currently reading right now. So I'm reading Spirit by Bridget Kemmerer. This is book 3 in the Elemental series. I read this when it first came out back in like 2012, I think. 2013. I read this like way back then. I was in middle school, I believe, and I kind of wanted to do a reread of it, so I'm really enjoying it so far, and yeah. And then I want to finish The Hate U Give, hopefully in July. I am almost done. I have this much left of the book, and I do have my tabs, which is coming a long way. I'm hoping to be done with this soon because I love this and I want to get it done before August. And also I want to address, I don't know if you guys can tell, but my bookshelf is definitely different. Maybe you can tell with here, I don't have my Sarah J Maas books there anymore. I changed it and I'm going to be posting a bookshelf tour. It's either going to be up before or after this video. I'm not 100% sure, but I wanted to just address that and just finally tell you guys you're getting a bookshelf tour. So first, to start with the ebooks and the books that I got from the library that I don't have anymore, I read At the Stroke of Midnight and In Bed with the Beast by Tara Civic. I gave them both a 5 out of 5. That's her like princess series book and I really enjoyed that. The Little Mermaid one is coming out in September, so I'm super excited about that. Then I read One Small Thing by Erin Watt, which I gave a 5 out of 5. That is a YA contemporary, and I'll be linking my review down below because that already went up. Then I read The Mermaid's Escape by Kelly McAllen. I gave that a 2 out of 5. I unfortunately didn't really like it. It was like a reverse harem romance, but it just wasn't really good. They were kind of like stranded on an island and I just wasn't really feeling it. Like, I didn't like it, so I gave it a 2 out of 5. Then I read Bishop by Suri Bennett, which was kindly provided to me by NetGalley. It's an ARC. This is a hockey romance and it is #1 in her Arizona Vengeance series. I love this book. I gave it a 4 out of 5. It was such a good romance. There was hockey involved. Just everything about it was really cute. Then I read Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. I did actually buy a copy and I was so excited to have it and it was going to be my book haul. And then I read it and I ended up giving it a 3 out of 5. I just didn't like it. It just wasn't there for me. I'm a big Viking person. I watch Vikings, the TV show. I've read a lot of Norse mythology. I just really like that stuff. And this book just did not do it for me. I felt like it was totally off with some of the stuff that was happening. And it just wasn't the best book. So, yeah, I gave it a 3 out of 5. And then I read #Moonstruck, which I gave a 5 out of 5. That is by Soraya Wilson. NetGalley also provided me an ARC of that book. That is a rock star romance. I loved this book. It was so good. Just the bickering between the characters was just hilarious. It was just a really good book overall. And then I read Real by Katie Evans, which is an MMA romance. This was my first MMA romance I read. I ended up giving it a 4.5 out of 5. I really loved it. My only thing was that it was kind of rushed. It was kind of more an insta-love thing, and insta-love isn't really my thing when reading books. So that was the only reason I didn't give it a 5, but everything else, I really loved it. Sorry, I'm in a spinny chair today, so I'm like spinning. I'm loving it. And then I read Beautiful Mistake by Vikiland. I don't know if it's Vi or V. I gave this a 2 out of 5. Very disappointed. A lot of people have recommended it to me, and I just didn't like it at all. It's a teacher's assistant, so a TA, and a professor romance in college. Not my thing. I mean, the romance was good. It just wasn't like, wow, this is great. So I ended up giving it a 2 out of 5. Now getting on to my physical copies that I read this month. I ended up reading 3 books in the Stay With Me, or Wait For You series by Jaylyn. I read Be With You, Stay With Me, and Fall With Me. Or is it Be With Me? Be With Me, sorry. Be With Me, Stay With Me, Fall With Me. I gave them all, I believe, 4s out of 5. I'm looking at my little sheet here. I think I ended up giving them all 4 out of 5. Stay With Me, I think I gave them all 4 out of 5. I love these books. They're such cute, quick romances to read. And of course, they're by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So I definitely recommend these books if this is something you're interested in. Most of it is college-based, or they're around college age. So they're between like 19, 20, 21, 22. Like that's the age of them. I love these books, and each book has like the character of the next book, which is interesting too. Then I read Summer of Sloane by Erin L. Schneider. This was in my contemporary favorites, part 2. So if you didn't see that video, I definitely go suggest watching it if you like contemporaries. I ended up giving this a 4 out of 5. It was a reread for me, and I loved it. Super sweet. And it takes place in Hawaii, so of course I love this book. This is a YA contemporary, and it's just so good. Just the cover is beautiful, and this is probably one of the prettiest books I own on my bookshelf. Then I read Tone Deaf by Olivia Rivers. I really love this book as well. I gave it a 4 out of 5. It was a quick romance, YA romance, and this follows a girl who's actually deaf who wins like a number, like when you go to the concert, she was the winning number with her bracelet, and she ended up getting a backstage tour, but then the main lead singer like just didn't like her, and there was a whole big issue, but her dad was abusive. It was like a whole big thing. I really love this book. Again, I gave it a 4 out of 5. Very underrated. I definitely recommend it, and this was also in my contemporary favorites or contemporary book recommendation video part 2. So definitely check it out if you're looking for a cute, quick read. Then I read, wow, surprise, another Jennifer Armentrout book, Don't Look Back. This is her YA thriller mystery book. I really love it. I gave it, I think, a 4 out of 5. I wasn't a huge fan of who the person in the end ended up being. I can't really tell you what happens with that, but she was like missing and then she comes back, so obviously the person that was involved with that. I wasn't a huge fan with that storyline, and I felt like it was unexplored. It didn't really go with the story. It didn't connect, so I didn't really like it. But other than that, I loved everything about it. I loved how we got to see 2 different Samanthas before the amnesia and after, and it was just nice to see her grow and develop and everything like that. Then I read Fraternize by Rachel Van Dyken. This is finally my copy. I love it, and it's the glossy floppy paperbacks, which are like my favorite paperbacks ever. I read this one and Infraction, which is book 2. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 and Infraction a 5 out of 5. This one was really good, but it had a love triangle, and I was so back and forth with who I wanted her to end up being. And then, of course, I read the synopsis. Before I finished reading this book, I read the synopsis of the second book, and I got spoiled of who she doesn't end up with. So I was like, oh, whoops. So I really enjoyed this book, and the second book was so phenomenal. I just loved it. I definitely cried. It was in my mid-year freak out tag. It was just really good. I definitely recommend these 2 books if you want something football related and something out of the norm. So these were really good. And then, yet again, another Jennifer Armentrout book, If There's No Tomorrow. I gave this a 5 out of 5. And I really love this book. I don't want to tell you too much about it because it is a spoiler, because it doesn't really say that much in the back. I don't think so. Yeah, basically on the front, which is a good summary of what happens, is a single choice can change everything. And I'm actually going to show you. Jennifer actually signed it for me when I met her. But this book is so moving. I feel like everyone should read this, especially if you're a teenager. This is her YA contemporary. It just has so much information in this that's very unique, and you need to see this perspective, and it's just so good. And you'll understand what I'm talking about when you read it, especially if you're like 16, 17, and 18, you should read this book. And then I did a reread, so I read Heart Recaptured and Souls Unfractured by Tilly Cole. Souls Unfractured, I will probably be linking my review of this book because I'm posting it on Tuesday, and it's probably going to be up before It will be up before this video, so I'll link my review down below. And I read Heart Recaptured. Heart Recaptured follows Delilah and Kai. And then Souls Unfractured follows Flame and Maddie. Love these books. Heart Recaptured, a 4 out of 4. I stuck with my same rating. And Souls Unfractured is like 1,000,000 stars out of 5, just because it's that good. But these are part of the Hades Hangman series by Tilly Cole. So good. If you love dark romance or you love motorcycle romance, definitely give these a shot. They're very different from usual motorcycle romances, but they're just so good. Like, definitely give them a shot. And then I read Storm and Spark by Bridget Kemmerer. Again, this is the series that I'm rereading. I gave them both 4 out of 5. They were really good. It's not the greatest writing, so if you're looking for something that has amazing writing, this isn't it. But just the plot is really different, and I loved these back in 2012 when I read them and they came out. But now that I'm older and my reading tastes have changed, they're still really good books, but they're not like, wow, that's like the best book I've ever read. So they're enjoyable plot-wise, but they're not like, wow, amazing. And then I read Score and Slammed by Victoria Denault. These are book 1 and 2 of the San Francisco Thunder series. I love these. These are hockey romances. Really, really good. I gave Score 5 out of 5 and Slammed a 4 out of 5. Score follows Jude and Slam follows his sister Dixie. So I really enjoy these books. Very different from normal hockey romances and just a lot of stuff going on, which I really enjoyed. And I believe book 3 comes out in August, and I'm so excited for that because book 2 came in like last December, I don't remember, but it came out a while ago, so I'm very excited to get my hands on book 3. I don't remember what it's called, but they're hockey romances, and I'll pick anything up sports related. Ooh, we're almost done, guys. Then I read Bad Boy Brody by Tijim. I do have mixed feelings about this. I'm probably going to stick with a rating of like a 3.5, maybe a 4. It just wasn't there for me. And I'm so used to loving Tijin's writing, especially Cole and the Mafia series. But I don't know. There was something about this book that I feel like it was too different for me. So this is it's like more of a new adult romance, I guess. So this follows an actor named Brody, and he is the golden child of Hollywood. Everyone loves him. And he's at his movie premiere event, and he gets a phone call from his brother asking, like, hey, where are you? Like, are you gonna make it tonight? And all of a sudden he hears his brother crash and die when he's on the phone. So then he turns to Bad Boy Brody, and of course he turns to alcohol to try and cope with his brother's death. And it's just like not bad news. So then he gets signed a contract for a movie deal, which the first one's like a documentary kind of, and then if he does really well in the documentary and he cleans up his act, then he'll be signed for his superhero movie. It was good. It just wasn't there. I don't know if I'm making sense. It just wasn't like the love interest thing was weird. It was definitely an insta-love thing. And I felt like there was so much potential that it didn't reach. Like, I don't know. I was very upset that I didn't like it as much as I should have. So, yeah, that was this one. And then the last book I read this month was Lux Opposition by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the last book of the Lux series. This is book 5. Absolutely loved it. Gave it a 5 out of 5. Really, really good ending to the story. But of course, she has The Darkest Star coming out, which is another spinoff. And then I have the adult spinoff with one of the Aram characters. So I have that one. Yeah, Jennifer just keeps expanding this. But this was such a good ending. Loved how it ended. And just everything about it was really good. So that's it for my wrap up. I read so many books this month. And a lot of them were good. A lot of them were like iffy. And it's weird because I feel like I don't get as much reading done as I want to, because it's probably the books that I'm reading that I don't expect to read. I don't know if I'm making sense, but yeah. So I hope you really enjoyed this video, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. That's it, guys. Bye. Bye!